Hello guys, how are you? And welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to share my top resources across the domains of web development, data analysis or data science, and AI engineering that can help you scale up as fast as possible. And without further ado, let us jump right into the video. So my first resource is the Odin project, web development specialization. If you're someone who is looking to be specialized as a web developer, or to develop website for your clients, or to get a job in the web development arena, then the first piece of advice that I will give you is to look at the Odin project. The Odin project is a project that is open source and accessible to everyone and free to follow learning path. In Odin project, you can choose to either go the Ruby way or the JavaScript way. As for me, I have followed the JavaScript way from the start, the career specialization, and even the basic specialization from start to finish. And that's how I launched my web development career. But although I am a fan of Odin project, many people have also found projects such as FreeCodeCamp very useful. FreeCodeCamp always offers different specialization, not just the web project like Odin project is. For example, if you want to be a data analyst, they have a specialization for that. If you want to be a machine learning engineer, then you can find a path in FreeCodeCamp. And even if you want to be a cybersecurity engineer, then you can find a resource in FreeCodeCamp, a specialization backed by videos, tutorials, and links to excellent websites. Unlike the Odin project, which is specialized in mainly web development and web JavaScript or Ruby specialization, FreeCodeCamp gives you some room to breathe, especially if you're someone who is not very interested in learning about web development. And then the next resource that I will recommend is Codecademy. At first, I started with the Codecademy because they were offering some free access to their platform during the COVID time when I launched my learning career. And in that time, I finished their JavaScript specialization and React specialization. And after that, I realized that it is a very fun and engaging way to learn. Codecademy gives you not just the resources to learn, but also an entire platform in which you can run your code, you can execute your code, you can submit projects, and they have a very engaging and tight community in which if you have problems, then you can always reach out to one of the community members or post on their Discord server or Facebook group, and you will just find help from people up above you. Just community members and instructors are always hanging around in Codecademy. So the most important thing, or the greatest advantage of Codecademy, is that it has a tight support community. So whenever you run into a problem, I guarantee you that you are really going to find support. But the downside of Codecademy is that it is a premium product. Unless they are running some ads or campaign or have some discount, Codecademy is expensive because learning itself is a tough career or a tough process. Adding the cost implications on it can be very, very daunting task to do. So I don't know what you think about it. It's not very expensive, but also give it a try yourself and tell me what you think in the comment section below. And then the next project is Frontend Masters. I followed a lot of tutorials from Frontend Masters, and most of them are specializations maybe in web development, in mobile app development. Specifically, I followed their Rust specialization and their development of mobile applications using Expo. I've also completed several other projects like cybersecurity with them, and even machine learning engineering and web development using HTML and CSS. So Frontend Masters is a really fun and engaging platform for you to learn from. And don't be fooled by the name Frontend Masters, because it is not really front-end alone. It has a lot of projects and a lot of applications and a lot of courses ranging from front-end specialization to back-end specialization to database specialization and anything you can always think about. The greatest advantage of front-end masters, or what I've observed from it, is that most of the instructors in front-end masters are industry veterans. Most of them are working in top companies such as Google, Facebook, or some of them are working from NSA and any other Fortune 500 company you can think of. So they are highly specialized and they are industry expert and leaders. So be rest assured that you will be learning from the best of the best, and that is how I realized that it is a gold mine that no one is talking about. The problem with front-end masters is that they are always very expensive compared to other options such as Codecademy. And you can always find something free such as Odin Project. But I want to give you a tip on how to get front-end masters for free. You need to have GitHub Student Pack. Front-end masters is one of the benefits you get when you get your GitHub Student Pack. So head over to github.com, and if you're a student, upload your details. And once you upload your details and they are approved, you will have access to front-end masters. It is a highly interactive and a highly intensive program where you will learn a lot, I assure you. But the problem with it also is that once you are watching a ton of content or so many videos, they will rate limit you, they will throttle their users. This is not mentioned in their homepage or in their payment page, but it's something that is widely known in the community. So apart from web development, I'm proceeding to data analyst. If you want to become a data analyst, what do you do? My top recommendation, and the only recommendation that I will say, is Worldcode University. I never mentioned when I was talking about Codecademy that I also took their data science specialization and I completed it end to end. And also in Pre-Code Camp, one way or the other, I've learned a lot about data science. And many resources, I've read a lot of books about data science and machine learning and anything like that. A lot of books I've read to end, including the Machine Learning Bible. So one thing that I've realized is that sometimes what you need is someone to push you beyond your limit. And that is why what Worldcode University gave me. Worldcode University is intense. And if I mean intense, it is extremely intense. It is always an amalgamation of Python, MongoDB, and a lot of time series analysis, including machine learning, data science, and SQL. So if you are someone who is very fresh in your career and you want something to push you towards mastering applied data science, then you can always try Worldcode University. And last year I graduated with their applied data science curriculum, and I was accepted to their Masters of Quantitative Finance, which I will finish in 2 years' time. But also I'm very interested in their computer vision and machine learning with computer vision program, which I've also been I was invited as one of the beta testers, and I've also completed. And I think it's a very good platform for you to learn from, especially if you're a beginner or you're an intermediate in your career, because of now how intense it is and how it exposes you to rigorous nature of data science and machine learning. And the next thing that I know, there are many honorable mentions in data science and machine learning that I can talk about. For example, the Google machine learning specialization, and also the Carnegie Mellon's University Deep Learning specialization. I will also give thanks to Stanford CS 229, in which I've read a lot about machine learning and data science. So I've learned from many places, but none have been more rigorous or more planned like Worldcode University. But those resources are extremely valuable, and I would likely to check them out as well. But one of the things that I will also recommend, the most important thing, is that you should not always be stuck in tutorial hell. You should go ahead and implement a project and start to see what you can do with it. So the next big resource that I will talk about is the documentations. Data science and machine learning is a fast moving field, and you should not always be there moving from one documentation to another, one resource to another, the best way to learn is not to follow one path after another and drop one path to another, but rather follow one path as a head start and then go down to documentation. Documentation such as Pandas documentation is very good for someone who is interested in learning data science or data analysis with Python. And there are also other documentations of any other library like TensorFlow and NumPy. These things are changing, and honestly, no career path or book can keep up with the constant change in data science and machine learning. So once you follow one career path, which I would recommend Worldcon University, which is, if I did not mention, is fully free and fully funded by Worldcon Corporation, then go ahead and read documentation as you continue with the implementation. And then the last career path that I want to talk about is AI engineering. Okay, before I became an AI engineer, I was also someone who was machine learning, data science, web development. I did those kind of stuff. But AI engineering is a new specialization in the field. An AI engineer is not someone who fit models to, for example, data set. They don't do that. What they do is that they connect AI applications to pre-made models out there. So they are like connectors. So they deal with things like vector databases, similarity search, and building web applications, both front-end and back-end, to talk with AI applications. So most of them are dealing with things to do with the AI agents development and AI support system development. And they are AI engineers because they engineer or they connect systems. They are building on top of Web 2. They are building on top of traditional technologies, but they are also integrating more nuanced AI models, mostly natural language processing models from different providers such as OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, among others. So if you want to be an AI engineer, there are a lot of ways in which you can get to the field. But the problem with this is that most of the books that will be covering AI engineering guide are going to be outdated by the time they are published. This field is moving so fast that once you hear about something, the next time you hear about it, you will see that it is deprecated. In fact, Google and OpenAI are producing new technology so fast that almost like every week you will see tons and tons of announcements that you can't keep up with. So I will not advise you to even follow a book at this point, because this is so fast that you cannot even keep up with. But one of the two resources that I will talk about is Vercel AI SDK documentation and Pydantic AI documentations. These are not the definitive guide to AI development or AI design. In fact, I started with learning LangChain and OpenAI, just reading OpenAI documentation and learning LangChain. After that, I learned Langsmith, and after that, I learned CrewAI. But after my experience moving from one agent framework to another, I learned that what I really needed was not something that does for me everything out of the box like LangChain did or CrewAI did, but something that I can tweak to my need, especially because there are different things that you can do that you always need a framework that you can tweak when you need it. And Vercel AI SDK and Pydantic AI in Python provides me just that. Vercel AI SDK is very easy to integrate with the Vercel ecosystem like Next.js or any other JavaScript framework. In fact, it's written entirely in JavaScript and there is no Python alternative. But the closest alternative Vercel AI SDK is Pydantic AI Python. With Vercel AI SDK, you don't need to worry about different providers and connecting separately to their AI platform, because Vercel AI already covers that. So why don't you just head over and do the documentation, and by the time you will be finished with reading the Vercel AI documentation, then you will be far ahead of your AI engineering career. Then lastly, I want to discuss about Pydantic AI. What is Pydantic AI and why should you even care about it? Pydantic AI is made by a company behind Pydantic. Pydantic is a validation library in Python that has always been very important and has received massive praise for its pragmatism. And Pydantic AI is no different. It's so pragmatic, it's so organized, and it's so maintained that I believe is the best AI development or agent framework in Python. So guys, those are the documentations and resources that I wanted to share. For now, until next time, bye.